Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on fractions of a number. In this video we will show how to find the fraction of a given quantity by using real life objects and dividing them into groups. Let's start with example 1, which asks for a half of 4. Here's our solutions. Let us find a half of the following 4 objects. So this will demonstrate the actual process. So here are our 4 objects, which are 4 oranges. Let us look at a half. How does the above fraction help us to find the answer? Well, you have to look at those two numbers, and they tell you some very important information. Firstly, let's look at the 2. What information does the 2 tell us? The 2 in the denominator tells us that we must divide the number of objects into 2 groups. So basically you split the oranges into 2 equal groups. Now you can see that here's one group and here's another group. There are 4 oranges altogether and each group has the same number of oranges. So we've done that. What does the 1 tell us? Let's look down here. The 1 tells us that the answer is the number of oranges in one group. So how many oranges in this one group? There are 2. And that's how we find a half of 4, by dividing the group and then by looking at the 2 numbers. So let's do another example on the next slide. A half of 8. The solution. Let us find half of the following objects. So here we have 8 marbles. How does the above fraction help us to find the answer? The 2 in the denominator tells us that we must divide the number of objects into 2 groups. So here we are. There's one group there, and there's another group there. They're 2 equal groups. I should have stressed here that the groups are equal. 2 equal groups. So we've done that. That's the first part of our job. What does the 1 tell us? The 1 tells us that the answer is the number of marbles in one group. So how many marbles in one group? There are 4. Let's do one more on the next slide. Half of 10. So let us find half of the following 10 objects, which are 10 grapes. How does the above fraction help us to find the answer? The 2 in the denominator tells us that we must divide the number of objects into 2 equal groups. So remember, the groups must be equal. Well, here we are. There's one group. There's another group. And they are equal because you have 5 in each. The 1 tells us that the answer is the number of grapes in one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a very straightforward way of finding a fraction of a number, in this case half of a given number, by dividing the objects into 2 equal groups. And that's a very, very good way to go. It actually is a very good introduction to fractions of a number. It's a little bit advanced for year 1, but I think with a little bit of practice and using different objects and dividing them into groups, you'll certainly understand what's going on.